First of all, this is one of the longest surviving armed groups in the world, more than 50 years. Secondly, it's the last autochthonous armed group in Western Europe. And I also think it's historic because of the way it was done. It was done, and I would call it a Basque model of disarmament and verification, where states were not willing to get involved, and that Basque organizations, governments, regional governments, civil society actors, trade unions, church, and others worked together with a non-official international team to get this job done.
Many are skeptical that ETA is handing over all of its weapons. Are you convinced?
I'm convinced that ETA is handing the weapons that it has under its control. I'm not skeptical because ETA declared a ceasefire and end to violence 6 years ago, and we monitored this ceasefire, and since their declaration there has not been any incidents of violence by ETA. So I believe that violence is no longer something that will be a part of their life, and this is simply the next phase.
How worried are you by the members of ETA who want nothing to do with this process? There's said to be about 100 who reject the disarmament.
Well, the question you raise is an important one, and one of the reasons for the length of time between the declaration of ceasefire and the act of disarmament was the need to keep the organization on board with this decision and to ensure that there are no splits. As you know from the Northern Ireland experience, one of the worst bomb attacks took place after the Good Friday Agreement. And that has been an issue that has worried us constantly, of making sure that this is something that is done with the support of the whole organization, and I believe that is the case here.
But it does mean the absence of broader political leadership to bring the rest of society along, including the many victims.
Well, it is not, I would not say it's the absence of political leadership, because we've had political leadership from the regional leaders in both the Basque Country in Spain, in Navarra in Spain, and also in the Basque Country in the French region. With regard to victims, it is tragic that when we negotiate an end to these conflicts and lead to disarmament, we cannot address the claims of all victims. The work we do is about ending the violence. We hope that at least in the work we do, we can ensure that there are no more victims of any violence. And that gives me a great sense of fulfillment, that these guns that were used to kill people, that were used to assassinate leaders of different political parties and trade unions and also opponents, will no longer be used to do that.